Jai Hind everyone. I am Vivek Kumar Pansari, Assistant Professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering at Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Today in this particular video, I am going to discuss about these two terms, shear force and bending moment, and how these terms are related to each other and how the questions related to shear force and bending moment can be solved. So, briefly I will be discussing about all these points. Before moving to the terms shear force and bending moment, it is necessary to discuss for which type of structure, for which type of element we are going to discuss the effect of shear force and bending moment here. So, we are going to discuss the effect of shear force and bending moment on beams, and beams means what? A beam is a horizontal structural member which is subjected to transverse load. As I already discussed this particular term earlier in my videos. So, beam is what? Beam is a horizontal structural member generally which is subjected to transverse load. It means the load is perpendicular to the length of the beam. So, this is what the beam is. This load may be point load, this load may be uniformly distributed load, this load may be uniformly varying load. So, whatever the type of load, either it is a point or it is a UDL or it is a UBL, definitely when the beam is loaded, the internal forces and moments will be developed. What will be there? Internal forces and moments will be developed, and these terms are known as shear force and bending moments come into picture because of this. So, because of the loads, there are certain internal forces and moments which terms as shear force and bending moment. Okay. Now, let us come to the point. Here we are observing one beam, overhanging type of beam. It is subjected to three loads. Point loads are shown here, 3 point loads are there. So, because of these point loads, what will be the shear force? Shear force means parallel to the transverse plane, the force which is parallel to the transverse plane. So, what we are doing here? We are taking a section here, section A has been taken here, and on the left side of the section plane, what we are observing? We are observing there are three forces. One is P1, another one is the reaction force, another one is the P2. So, the shear force will be what? Shear force at section AA is the algebraic sum of all the forces. All the forces means P1, R1 and P2. These forces on the one side of the section plane. So, shear force at any section AA is the algebraic sum of P1, P2 and R1. It means P1 plus P2 minus R1, or I can say R1 minus P1 plus P2. It depends upon the sign convention. So, this is what and it is not necessary we will be considering only the left side of the section plane. We can also consider the right side of the section plane also. So, on the right side of the section plane AA, what are the forces? R2 and P3. So, by the definition of shear force, the force which causes shearing, and mathematically it is the algebraic sum of all the forces acting either side of the section plane. Let us come with one example. If it is not clear by this means, let us consider a beam. Okay. It is subjected to loads, suppose 10 Newton here, 10 Newton here, and the distances are 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter. This is point A, this is point B. By the symmetry of the beam, the support reactions will be 10 Newton and it will be also 10 Newton. Now, if I am considering a section plane 1 here, and the distance of section plane from this point is 0.5 meters. Okay. So, what I said? I said the shear force at section, at any section. So, I am considering the section 1 1. So shear force at section 1 1 is what? It is the algebraic sum of all the forces. So we will be taking the algebraic sum of all the forces. So here both the forces are equal. So we can say there will be no shear force between this section to this section. Okay. So this is what the meaning of shear force here. Okay. So this term must be clear. So these two has to be taken into account, the algebraic sum of these two forces. So here coincidentally what is coming out? 10 Newton is positive, 10 Newton is negative. So it is coming out the zero shear force. Obviously, so this is what happening here. So at any section 1 1 shear force, it is the algebraic sum, or it is written also there, it is the resultant force which is in upward direction and is towards the left hand side of the section. Now it is necessary to discuss about the sign conventions also. So if we are dealing with the left side of the section plane, if we are dealing with the left side of the section plane, and the resultant force is how? Resultant force is upward, then it will be considered as positive shear force. Resultant of what? Resultant of all the forces. Resultant of all the forces means P1, P2 and R1. So resultant of all these forces. So if the sum of all the forces is coming out upward, then it will be considered positive. At which side? On the left hand side. Simultaneously, if on the right hand side the algebraic sum of all the forces is downward, this will also be considered as shear force. So shear means we can take shearing action. So one arm is going upward, one arm is going downward, and both are producing the same effect. We can also consider the example of scissor. Okay, so it is also the cutting action through scissor is because of the shearing. So one arm is going upward, one is downward, and producing the same effect. Okay, so that's why it is considered. So one is going upward, one is going downward at a particular section plane, and both will be considered as positive shear force. And opposite of this will be treated as negative shear force. If on the left side of the section plane the algebraic sum of all the forces is downward, then it will be negative, or on the right side of the section plane, if algebraic sum is upward, then it will be treated as negative shear force. So this is what the shear force. The another type of effect which can happen with the beam because of the lateral loads, it's bending. Okay, so again and again, if this is a beam, because of the loads it can bend, and bending will be because of the bending moments. Bending will be because of the bending moment. So again I am considering a section AA between loads P2 and P3. So what will be the moment at this section, or I can say what will be the bending moment at section AA. So the bending moment is that moment which causes bending, and mathematically it is equal to the algebraic sum of all the moments due to various forces on either side of the section plane. Now what I said, algebraic sum of all the moments on either side. So on the left side of this section AA there are three forces, P1, R1 and P2. So moment due to P1, moment due to P2 and moment due to R1. All these three moments, algebraic sum of all these three moments will be taken into account, and that will be the bending moment at section AA. Clear? So bending moment is the algebraic sum of all the moments acting either side of the section plane due to various forces. So for clarifying this with the diagram, okay, so I have taken this example. I have taken a section plane 1 1. Now what will be the moment here? What will be the moment here? Okay, now consider this. So the distance from 10 Newton reaction force, it is how much? 1.5, and the tendency of rotation will be clockwise. So it will be 15 kilonewton meter. Okay, 10 into 1.5. Okay, 10 Newton at A, 10 into 1.5. Clockwise tendency. From this 10 Newton force, which is the point load, the distance is 0.5. Distance is 0.5 and the tendency of rotation will be anti-clockwise. So that I can take, so 10 into 0.5 will be 5. It is coming out algebraic sum of all these 10 kilonewton meter. Now consider the right hand side also. From the right hand side, from this point, the distance is how much? 1.5. So 10 into 1.5, 10 into 1.5. Tendency of rotation because of this, it is anti-clockwise. So it is 15. Because of this 10 kilonewton, which is at this point. Okay. So it is 10 into 0.5. So minus 5. So it is coming out 10 kilonewton meter again. This is this type of rotation. This is this type of tendency. So both are equal and opposite. Algebraic sum of all the moments and either side of the section plane will be taken into consideration. The algebraic sum will be same, only the tendency will be different. Obviously it must be, because if we have to produce the bending, then on both sides of the section plane there must be equal and opposite moments, then it will bend. Okay. So if I am considering the case of bending, otherwise it will rotate in particular direction. So now this thing must be clear. Bending moment means it is the algebraic sum of all the moments on either side of the section plane, either it is the left or the right side. So similarly the shear force, I am taking the left side of the section plane or right side of the section plane, the sum will be equal. Same thing happens with the bending moment also. On the left hand side as well as on the right hand side, the summation will be same, and this is what we termed as shear force and bending moment. Now come to the sign convention. If the resultant moment on the left side is clockwise, then it will be treated as positive, and on the other side, means the right hand side, if it is anti-clockwise, it will be treated as positive, because both are producing the same effect, and opposite of this will be treated as negative bending moment. This type of bending moment will produce what? Will produce concavity, towards beam. This type of bending moment will produce convexity towards beam. So these are also termed as sagging, and it is also termed as hogging. Okay. So this is what the sign convention. So I hope this particular thing, shear force and bending moment and the sign convention, is clear to you. Now another important thing before moving to the problems of shear force and bending moment, the relation between shear force and bending moment. So here we are considering a beam AB which is subjected to UBL. Okay. From 0 to W it is increasing. So let us consider a very small section which is encircled here of dx length at x distance from O. Okay. So I am considering a very small section which is highlighted also. So at this particular, although the load is varying, but for this small section we can consider the load is uniform and the intensity of load is W per unit length. Okay. So now I am taking out the small portion. Okay. So the shear force on the left side is F, bending moment on the left side of this dx element is m, the length of element is delta x. On the other side of the section plane, on the other side of the dx element, okay, the shear force is F plus delta F and the bending moment is m plus delta m. Okay. So what are the forces here? F plus delta F and the load of this element W into delta x, as we are considering it as a W, uniformly distributed load. So W delta x will be the total load. So now, and the moments are m plus delta m and moment due to F or F plus delta m. So for finding out the relation between F and m, let us apply some equilibrium equation. Okay. So all these things are covered, the shearing force F and F plus delta F at the section x and x plus delta x, already told. The bending moment at distance x and x plus delta x are m plus delta m. Okay, so already shown f plus delta f, m plus delta m. Okay, and force due to external loading. So w I am considering because of the small section, it is a UDL. So w delta x, that is the load because of this load. Okay, so force due to external loading, if w is the mean load. So these are the forces and moments on either side of the dx element. Now apply the equilibrium equation. Equilibrium equation, we are taking the moment about center point. So the center point C, here we are taking the moment. So moment due to F, it will be F into delta x by 2. Tendency of rotation clockwise. Moment due to F plus delta F about point C, so it will be F plus delta F into delta x by 2. Again the tendency of rotation will be clockwise. Moment which is already existing there, the bending moment m, and m plus delta m, it is anti-clockwise. So there are 3 clockwise moments and 1 anti-clockwise moment. Okay, so m clockwise on the left hand side of the point C, F into delta x by 2. This is the moment due to force, due to shear force F, which is on the left side. F plus delta F into delta x by 2. This is what the moment due to shear force on the right side. Okay, F plus delta F is the shear force on the right side, and moment due to this force is F plus delta F into delta x by 2. So all these are clockwise, and m plus delta m, this is the anti-clockwise. By simplifying the equation and neglecting the smaller quantities, what we are getting? We are getting the F equal to delta m over delta x. F equal to delta m over delta x. Under the limits, if delta x tends to 0, I can write this F equal to dm over dx. F is what here? F is shear force. M is what here? M is the bending moment. So this is what the relation. So we can say there is a differential relation between shear force and bending moment. Now for finding out the relation between load and shear force. Okay, load and shear force. So we can resolve the force vertically. So W delta x, that is the load of element which is acting downward. F plus delta F, this is the shear force on the right side of the element, it is also downward. Okay, we can see from the diagram. Okay, F plus delta F, W into delta x, both are acting downward, and F is upward. So sigma V equal to 0, algebraic sum of all the vertical forces. So W equal to delta F upon delta x, which we can write W equal to dF over dx, and in terms of moment it can be written as W equal to d square m upon dx square. So these are the relations. This is the relation between shear force and bending moment. This is the relation between load, shear force and moment. Now there is a role of this particular relation. We can conclude many things on the basis of these relations. What are these? First, if F equal to dm over dx. Okay, so what can I write? I can write it in this form, dm equal to F into dx. If I am integrating this, then what is this? This is the area of shear force diagram. Area of shear force diagram, which is equal to what? Which is equal to the change in bending moment between 2 points. So this is what written over here. The area of the shear force diagram between any 2 points from the basic calculus, we can say it is the change in bending moment. Okay, so change in bending moment between 2 points can be calculated through area of shear force diagram. Second thing, the slope of bending moment diagram is the shear force, clearly visible from here. The slope of bending moment diagram is shear force, and if F is 0, if this is 0, so dm over dx equal to 0, it means the bending moment will be constant. So if F equal to 0, the slope of bending moment diagram will be 0, and the bending moment is constant at that particular. and this is also the dm over dx equal to 0. M is constant, but this is the condition of maxima or minima. So, bending moment can be maximum at that particular point or minimum. It depends on where we are considering, where is the load. Okay. So, dm over dx equal to 0. So, there is a role f equal to dm over dx shows many interpretation. One more thing which we can get from here, that is moment we generally write in terms of F into d. It means force into distance. So, if we are writing moment equation, so obviously x term, the distance term will come in picture. So, if the bending moment equation, I am writing here, if the bending moment equation is in form of Fx, then the shear force equation, then we have to differentiate this. So, the shear force equation will be constant. So, I am coming to the point, if the bending moment equation, I am writing here, if the bending moment equation is in form of y equal to mx plus c, it means it is the equation of inclined line, and when I am differentiating this, so this will be 0, differentiation of constant will be 0, differentiation of mx will be coming out as m. So, shear force will be horizontal line, constant horizontal line. So, one interpretation, if the bending moment line is inclined line, equation is of inclined line, then shear force will be constant horizontal line. If the bending moment equation is in form of parabola y equal to kx square, then if I am differentiating it, what it will be? It will be in term of 2kx if I am differentiating this. Okay. So, it means if the bending moment curve is parabolic, if the bending moment curve is parabolic, then shear force diagram will be inclined line. So, if the bending moment is parabola y equal to kx square, then this will be inclined line. Another thing which we can interpret from here, if the bending moment equation is of this form, cubic form, then because of the differential of this, it is coming out 3kx square. So, I can say, so if it is a cubic equation for bending moment, then shear force equation will be parabolic. So, if the curve is cubic here, then it will be parabolic here for the shear force. These we will be observing when we will be doing the question, then we will be getting the equations in the form of, in these forms, so that we can easily understood there. But here, at least for the information sake, we must know कि shear force and bending moment diagram will be changing on the basis of this particular relation F equal to dm over dx. That again I will be dealing when I will be dealing with the actual problems, then how the equations are coming in form of cube, how the equations are coming in form of squares or inclined lines, that will be dealt in later part of